Hello, and welcome to Read Aloud Stories with Mrs. R. I'm Mrs. Rosenthal, but a lot of kids like to call me Mrs. R. Have you ever been frustrated? Maybe you tried really hard to do something, and even though you did your best, it still didn't work out. That can be frustrating. In the story I'm about to read, a witch grows a big pumpkin. She wants to make pie. But the pumpkin is so big she can't move it. How frustrating. What will she do? Will someone come help her? The title of the book is Big Pumpkin.
Big Pumpkin by Erica Silverman, illustrated by S.D. Schindler. Once there was a witch who wanted to make pumpkin pie. So she planted a pumpkin seed. She weeded and watered, and after a while a sprout poked through, and then a pumpkin grew, and it grew, and it grew, and then it grew some more. Soon Halloween was just hours away. The witch thought about pumpkin pie and bent down to take her pumpkin off the vine. Well, she pulled and she tugged and she pulled. First, she pulled hard, and then she pulled harder. But that pumpkin just sat. "Drat!" said the witch. Just then, along came a ghost. "Moo, big pumpkin," said the ghost. "It's big and it's mine, but it's stuck on the vine, and Halloween's just hours away," said the witch, and she kicked that pumpkin. "Ooh, I am bigger than you and stronger too," boasted the ghost. "Ooh, let me try." "Humph," said the witch, but she thought about pumpkin pie and stepped aside. The ghost bent down to take the pumpkin off the vine. Well, he pulled, and he tugged, and he pulled. First, he pulled hard, and then he pulled harder. But that pumpkin just sat. "Ooh, drat!" said the ghost. Just then, along came a vampire. "Ha ha ha! Big pumpkin," said the vampire. "It's big and it's mine, but it's stuck on the vine, and Halloween's just hours away," said the witch, and she kicked that pumpkin. "I am bigger than both of you, and stronger too," boasted the vampire. "Let me try." "Humph," said the witch. "Ooh, humph," said the ghost. But they thought about pumpkin pie and stepped aside. The vampire bent down to take the pumpkin off the vine. Well, he pulled, and he tugged, and he pulled. First, he pulled hard, and then he pulled harder. But that pumpkin just sat. "Drat!" said the vampire. Just then, along came a mummy. "Big pumpkin," said the mummy. "It's big and it's mine, but it's stuck on the vine, and Halloween's just hours away," said the witch, and she kicked that pumpkin. "I am bigger than all of you, and stronger too," boasted the mummy. "Let me try." "Humph," said the witch. "Ooh, humph," said the ghost. "Humph," said the vampire. But they thought about pumpkin pie and stepped aside. The mummy bent down to take the pumpkin off the vine. Well, she pulled and she tugged and she pulled. First, she pulled hard, and then she pulled harder. But that pumpkin just sat. "Drat!" said the mummy.
Oh my! No one is strong enough to pull the pumpkin off the vine. Not the witch or the ghost or the vampire or the mummy. What will happen? What's your prediction? Oh, a prediction is when you guess what will happen. So, what's your prediction?
Just then, along came a bat. "Big pumpkin," said the bat. The witch didn't say a word. She just looked at the ghost and rolled her eyes. The ghost looked at the vampire. The vampire looked at the mummy. They all looked at the little bat, and they started to laugh. "I may not be big, and I may not be strong," said the bat, "but I have an idea." And the bat told them what to do. "Humph!" said the witch. "Ooh, humph!" said the ghost. "Moo-ha-ha! Humph!" said the vampire. "Humph!" said the mummy. But they thought about pumpkin pie and bent down to take the pumpkin off the vine. "Ready, set, pull!" called the bat. The bat pulled the mummy pulled the vampire pulled the ghost pulled the witch, and the witch pulled the pumpkin. Well, they pulled, and they tugged, and they pulled. First, they pulled hard, and then they pulled harder, and snap! Off came the pumpkin. "Drat!" said the witch. Whoosh! It flew, and it flew, and thud! It landed on top of a hill, and thump-bump, 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 it bounced all the way down to the witch's house. And when it got to her door, that pumpkin just sat. "Hooray for the bat!" shouted the witch, and she hurried inside to make pumpkin pie. "Ooh, said the ghost. "Have some more," said the witch. "Ha! Couldn't eat another bite," said the vampire. "Fun party," said the mummy. "Time to go," said the bat. "Drat!" said the witch as she watched them all leave. Then she went right out and planted another pumpkin seed.
Isn't it wonderful that they all worked together to pull the pumpkin off the vine? I'm so glad Bat had such a great idea. Was that your prediction, that they would all work together? So just remember, next time you're trying hard to do something alone, instead of getting frustrated, why don't you work with others? And then you can do it together. Meanwhile, thanks so much for watching Big Pumpkin at Read Aloud Stories with Mrs. R. Until next time, don't forget to read.